Hello, and welcome back to The Way to Mountains. Today, we'll be discussing how I got my trail name on my Appalachian Trail thru-hike attempt in 2021. I had been hiking for a little over 3 weeks, and we finally made it to the beginning of the Smokies. My tramley and the individuals that I've been hiking around with from the very beginning, we all decided to split a hotel room at the Fontana Resort, and we all got showers, a warm meal, and a nice warm bed to sleep in that night. The following day, I checked the forecast, and it was predicting freezing rain, snow, and sleet. I chose to stay behind and take a zero at Fontana Dam. And I kind of struggled with this decision because the rest of the individuals that I've been hiking with this far had decided to continue on, but I stuck true to my gut feeling, and I'm happy that I stuck with that. The following day, I took off, and it was bright, sunny, and warm, and it felt like spring had finally come. But as I deposited my slip into the registration box for thru-hikers that are entering the Smokies, I began to climb in elevation. When I got to the top of the ridge, the weather had completely changed. It was still freezing with wind driving rain, and the trail was extremely slippery, especially on the granite ledges. I continued to hike, and I began to hear this weird mumbling sound, and I wasn't sure what the noise was, but as I turned the corner on the trail, I saw a fellow section hiker who had fallen and dislocated his shoulder. He was trapped in the straps of his backpack that were preventing him from escaping, and he was becoming hypothermic. He was on the phone with emergency services. I took the phone, talked to the first responders, informed them of our exact location, that I would be attempting to move him to the closest shelter where I knew other hikers could help. I then proceeded to remove him from his backpack. I put his arm into a sling and helped him up. I then placed his backpack plus mine and had him leaning on me, and we continued down the trail for about a half a mile before we ran into another thru-hiker who helped us out. By the time we got to the shelter, he was moving extremely slow, but he seemed to be in higher spirits. And there was about 15 people at this shelter. One of them luckily was a retired nurse, and he administered aid at that scene. The rest of us, we all went out and grabbed firewood in the shelters up in the Smokies. There's usually a fireplace. So we got that thing roaring. We put him in a bunch of sleeping bags, and I donated all my hand warmers to him so that he could get his core body temperature up. As night fell, you could hear the chainsaws and the UTV coming up the mountain. The ranger service in the Smokies had to cut a path up due to the inclement weather because they could not use a helicopter. And yeah, they finally got to him a little after 9, and they put him on a board and brought him down in their little UTV. The following day, I got a text message from this individual thanking me, saying that I was an answer to his prayers, and I never really responded because I didn't feel like I was that person. I wasn't an angel. I wasn't somebody's savior. I just did what anybody else would have done in that situation. You leave nobody behind, especially up on the mountains. After a few weeks, I was resupplying in a small town outside the Smokies at a local Dollar General where some thru-hikers were hanging out in the parking lot. They were discussing some of the rumors that they'd heard, and one of them was a thru-hiker saving a fellow section hiker up in the Smokies. I told them it was me. They did not believe me at first, but I showed them the text that I had received from that individual. And when I came out of Dollar General, one of them stood up and said my trail name was EVAC. and ever since then, that's what I've been known as on the trail. EVAC stands for Emergency Evacuation. It is a military acronym, and it pays homage to my service in the Marine Corps. So, this is how I acquired my trail name. And this year, I'm going back out on the Appalachian Trail to spread awareness about dysautonomia, a condition I suffer from myself. If you would like to support me in this endeavor, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button and help me spread awareness. So, until next time, whatever path you may be on in life, happy trails.